Welcome to the Good Talk Podcast, where we remind you of the joy of life, the love of God, and the possibilities that lie ahead. Pete and Jordan here with episode 39.
Our last one of season 1.
It's over.
Nothing's over.
It's over. No,
we're
season 1 is
capping
over.
up season 1, yes.
Okay,
but the podcast is not over.
No, it's not over.
Yeah.
Of course it's not. It's just beginning.
You know what I realized?
What?
I remember this from like when we were starting the podcast, but my weeks of pregnancy align exactly with the week of the episode.
Oh,
So
we're
39 weeks.
We're pregnant 39 weeks.
Yeah, I'll be 39 weeks this week for episode 39. And my type 3 planner hates that we're stopping at 39 because it's such a weird number. I
What do
wish
you
we
want,
stopped
40?
at 40, but I don't have it in me, guys. So
We could make up an episode next week.
it's okay.
You are
I am hoping to be in delivery.
Look at, if you're watching on YouTube, look at that.
It's a big ball. And it's not even, when you sit down, everything scrunches. You really can't even tell just how pregnant I am when I'm sitting. But anyway,
You're way prego.
way prego. That is why we are pausing for a few weeks.
And we're
for
gonna take a
season
break.
1. We're going to take a
We're
little
gonna have
break.
a baby,
Yep, we're going to have a
and
baby.
we're gonna come back in a couple weeks with season 2.
Season 2. And when if you guys don't already, make sure you subscribe or follow, do all the things so that you know when season 2 comes back.
Yep.
Again, like Pete said, we're hoping for about 4-ish weeks, maybe 4 or 5
It's coming back
weeks.
big, too.
Oh, it's going to come back
Like a wrecking
strong
ball.
and have so many fun stories, hopefully, for you. And
You didn't
also,
even pick up on the wrecking ball thing.
I ignored that because you're referring to me as a wrecking ball.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were. Sorry.
No.
So yes, do all that. Also follow us on social media if you want to follow along with our little pregnancy ending to becoming a baby. That was a weird way to say that. To having a baby. We're going to be posting all that on our socials. So Instagram's where we live mostly. So if you care, go on. And if you don't, then come back for season 2. So season 1, my favorite episodes. Do you want to know?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because
Your
I think
favorite episode? Are we doing like a remash or?
no, I'm just gonna. I was just reminiscing on season 1 today, and I was like, there were so many good conversations that we had.
Can y'all hear the cat?
I'm
sure they
he's
can.
just part of it.
He's
just
right
part of
in
it
the
now.
mic now.
The cat is part of it now. He's
biting the mic.
Literally been asleep all day, and then comes down for this. It's fine. Okay, so my favorite episodes, and you can agree to disagree, are number 1 is actually episode 1.
Really?
Yeah. So we did the party begins.
I honestly do not remember that.
Okay.
episode.
That one was it was just kind of our whole heart and goal for the podcast, but it was also just telling one of my favorite stories you've ever told. I don't know. If you didn't listen to that one, if you kind of started late and you just jumped into the one that was live when you started listening, go back and listen to that one. That one's my absolute favorite. The second one I loved was the So I Got a New Tattoo episode.
Oh, I love that one.
That's when you got your tree tattoo, and it is your mantra for life, our mantra for life.
Yep.
But I just loved that concept. It's essentially how to look at love in a way that's I don't know. I can't even explain it without going right back into it. But listen to that one. That one's episode 20.
Okay.
And then the next one is Haters Gonna Hate, which we did 2 parts.
Yeah,
So it was a part 1 and a part 2, and that was episodes 21 and 22.
I like that one.
So if you missed those, go back and listen to those. It's about how to deal with criticism and do it in such a way where it's healthy, but also just to live your life and be you, and you are exactly where you should be and worthy of all the things that you have. So those are my favorite. Would you agree?
Yeah. I think it's great.
Sure. Great.
I have a hard time remembering episodes.
I know. Well, you're the one that has to carry most of the weight of the
I would just have to go back
conversations.
and listen to them. But the ones you just suggested were those are good.
Yeah, they're my fave. So
I love
if you
those.
did not listen to those, go back and listen. And we will start prepping some awesome content for season 2.
I know. I can't wait. Season 2. That's exciting.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. So we're in a season of waiting.
Yes. So, we thought we would talk about waiting today because we are in a season of waiting. We've been waiting for 9 months for this baby.
And now I feel like it is like the last few weeks are
I
especially.
know. I'm looking at the countdown. I'm like, we are
expectant.
so close.
We could be closer than we even know. Who knows? Maybe.
Because you could have the baby tonight.
Yeah, we could do it. Or
I mean, we're well within the range, right?
oh yeah, we're very much in the range of it could happen at any time. But also it could push past our due date, which could be over 2 weeks. So
Yep.
I hate it. I hate the unknown. But we are in season of waiting, so we thought, let's talk about waiting.
Yep. Yeah, and I just recently taught about waiting, and have been thinking a lot about it. And I feel like most people are either coming out of a season of waiting, they're in a season of waiting, or they're about to go into a season of waiting.
Yeah.
It's like that in so many aspects of life, and like the waiting that you and I are doing is a little different because, I mean,
You still know you more or less.
I mean,
kinda know
barring
the outcome.
something catastrophic happening,
Yeah.
we kind of know where this is going over the next couple weeks, right? Or the
Yeah.
next couple days, like
We hope.
And so you have that kind of waiting, like that we're stuck in. But there's a lot of other people right now that are stuck in a season of waiting, and they don't have a. It's not a 9 months and then you have a baby kind of deadline.
Right. It's a different.
Yeah, they want to get married, and they don't have any hope right now of getting married. There's like nothing on the radar,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or maybe they're married and they want to have a baby, and they've been trying. And you and I have so many friends right now who
Yeah.
have been trying to have babies, and for one reason or another, it's just not happening, right? And they're stuck in that season of like, when is it going to happen? And like, it's so frustrating for them.
Yeah. Oh, I can't
And
imagine.
There's other people that are waiting to get a job, or they're
Waiting for a cure.
waiting for a cure from cancer, or like, I mean, there's just so many
Restored
different
relationships.
things.
Yeah.
Yes, that we find ourselves most often in seasons where we're waiting and longing and wanting for something to happen that for some reason is not happening. And then the question is, what do you do while you're waiting? And I'm not going to pretend to have an answer like that, like answers everybody's question of what do you do while you're waiting. But I do think there are some things you can do while you're waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just have a couple of those that I
Yeah.
kind of jotted down. And the first one, I think, and this is really important, you have to stop assuming that God is doing something to you.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people think that when they're waiting, that God's kind of toying with them. It's like, we have this crazy
Cat, yeah.
and we have these little cat toys where we're like kind of playing with them. Like, it's like, you want to grab that? Grab it. And then we pull it back and they can't grab it. And like, I think there's a lot of people that almost feel like God's playing a game with them.
Yeah.
And
Or punishing them.
yes. And they're in some kind of game and God's kind of holding out on them. When in reality, I don't think that's true at all. I mean, I think you have to stop looking at your waiting room that you're stuck in as if God is doing something to you. I think it's possible God could be doing something through you. God could be doing something in you. I don't believe God's doing something to you.
Right.
In the same way that when I look at life, and you've heard me talk a lot about this, Jordan, but I don't look at life as if life is doing something to me. I think life might be doing something for me.
Right. Yeah, it's like it's the conversation that I feel like I've heard and had where, someone's like, I can't believe in a God that did this to me, or that did this
Right.
to my mom, or that did this to, and it's like, I wouldn't either. That's not the God that I believe in. I believe in a good God and a loving God who wants all good things for me. But it doesn't mean that those bad things don't happen in life. It's
Right.
Your point is, he can use those things to grow you, to shape you, to maybe open a, empathetic compassion that you wouldn't have had before if you hadn't gone through whatever. It's not to dilute the experience that you go through and to say, oh, it's okay, you're going to come out the other side and God's done something through you. But it is that like shift of perspective of there's not a God up there throwing rocks at you,
Yeah.
and hoping that you just bounce back. It's the awareness that things happen, but you can use those things for good.
The shift for me was when I found myself in these waiting rooms of life. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? I started asking, what do I need to learn? And that's a huge perspective shift. Like from why is this happening to me to what do I need to learn in this season? Like what is God trying to teach me here in this season? And I think when you get that perspective of what am I trying to learn from this season that I'm in,
Yeah.
Instead of looking at it as if it's some kind of punishment to you, like that's just it's a huge perspective shift.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
All right.
yeah, stop assuming God's doing something to you.
Okay.
Second thing I wrote down is growth germinates not in certainty and clarity, but in questions and crisis.
That's so true. At least for me in my life.
So, again, not that it alleviates the frustration you feel right now if you're stuck in a waiting room in life, but the reality is this waiting room is also a growing room. Like this is where you grow. This is where you shift. This is where you become the man and or the woman that you've wanted to become. It's not when you get what you want in life that rarely produces growth. Like when you get what you want.
So true.
It's when you're waiting and longing and wanting and something's not happening, but you learn to find satisfaction in that moment that the growth begins to happen.
Yeah, that's so true. Anytime that we feel like we can control something, you don't have a need for growth, right?
Right.
Like you,
Yeah.
you're like, I've got this. This turned out exactly like I needed. So where is the work in that? Where is the and luckily there are seasons of hopefully everybody's lives where we do get things that we were hoping for and wanting, but in the seasons that you don't, that is where the growth comes.
Yep.
That is where, I mean, think about seasons of your life where you had uncertainty that produced so much fruit. It took time and work and pain and all of that. But I think about seasons of my life and I'm like, had I not gone through any of that, I would still be this very shallow is a bad word, but I would be a shallow kind of person where it's just, yeah, I got everything I wanted. And, you know, it is a perspective shift. And it's, again, all these things are hopeful and helpful in helping us feel better about seasons of waiting. But it's true. It feels cliche, but it's true.
I think for me, what I've had to get to a place of learning is that the things that I long and want and hope for, they may not be bad things, but rarely do those things give me the peace that ultimately I desire. Like, I think for me, it's becoming more and more clear that the work of getting to where I want to be is really learning how to accept where I am today. Without this, or without that, or without this result, or without this circumstance shifting the way I want it to shift. Ultimately, getting to where I want to be comes down to learning how to accept where I am today.
Yeah.
And to the degree that I can accept and surrender and just live in the now without whatever it is that I want and long for, like, man, that's where the good stuff comes.
Yeah, because you can sit in it long enough to learn from it. You know, I feel like if you're taking your season of waiting and trying to constantly like reason it and maneuver it, and you're not still enough, right? Yeah. Like it's so easy to say this. I know that it's so easy to say this when like not in a season of waiting, but man, the hurry and the attempt to control amidst the lack of control and amidst the waiting just dilutes what you could be learning and growing through.
Yeah. Well, let's take, I mean, this is a terrible illustration, but let's take where we're at right now. We're waiting and longing for a baby. If we can't learn to be happy and satisfied where we are today, then when we get to that place where we get the baby, guess what? We're still not.
You're pushing for the next, right?
That's right.
It's
still
like,
not.
Oh, great, she's born and hopefully healthy, but man, I just can't wait till she starts walking. I'm gonna fast forward until
I can't wait till
yeah.
You have to learn to be satisfied and content where you are today. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
And if you can't learn to do that, you'll never be content and satisfied.
That's so true. So true. All right, what's the third thing?
All right, third thing. Just because your dream is delayed doesn't mean it's denied. And this is where, for me, the hope part comes in for those of you that have been waiting for a long time. And I know some of you have, again, a dream of being married, a dream of having a kid, a dream of like getting that dream job. You have a dream of
being healthy,
feeling good again. So I get that, and I would just say to you that just because your dream's delayed doesn't mean it's denied. Just because it's not happening right now doesn't mean that it won't happen. And this is where I would interject my faith, because I believe in a God, and I can't explain all this, but I believe in a God who specializes in resurrections. He specializes in hopeless situations. And so regardless of how dim your situation might be, regardless of how you might be up against tremendous odds right now, I just have to say you keep believing.
Yeah.
Keep putting one foot in front of the other. Because I really believe that. Just because your dream is delayed doesn't mean it's denied.
And what's the alternative belief? You know?
Exactly.
Like the alternative belief is hopelessness. It's a lot of resentment. There's so much like that can outpour the opposite way. And we've had an episode where he talked about this. Like, you can choose hope or you can choose hopelessness. And doesn't mean that amidst your hope you can have bad moments and sad moments and all of that, but still for your heartbeat and your intention and your focus to be to choose hope. I just feel like that has so much more. It does have more promise, and also kind of puts you in a heart and mind and soul set that's just like, I almost feel like puts you more on a trajectory toward that thing, you know, and if not that thing, like if that's not in your path, then your mindset of hope could lighten up new paths, you know, like again, you can choose to have that mindset and maybe new paths light up that you would have not had you been just nothing's happening. I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to have this. This relationship's never going to, you know, like, I don't know. I just think there's so much even more to it than just breathing life into yourself, but that it could align with a new path. I don't know. Maybe that's naive to say, but I just feel like that has so many different implications to it too.
Yep. There's a phrase I've shared with people over the years, and I really believe this to be true. I've said that God's silence is not his absence. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a lot of people, especially when you're in seasons of waiting and like whatever it is that you want's not happening, it's real easy to start to think that God doesn't know and God doesn't care. God doesn't hear you. I've been there so many times, you know, where I've thought that. I'm like, God doesn't know. He's like, it's like if you're someone who prays, it's like you feel like you're praying, and the visual illustration for me is that your prayers hit the ceiling and then bounce right back down.
Yeah.
It's like they're going nowhere. It's like I'm praying, I'm throwing it out there, and it's like boom, boom, comes right back. And so I think it's really easy to feel like in certain seasons that God doesn't know, God doesn't care, God doesn't hear you. And I don't believe that. And I've just seen so many stories in life. I've seen so many stories in the Bible where it seems as if God is absent, but even when God seems absent, he's there, he's present, he's with you. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be seasons where he's not responding in the way you want him to respond. But my thing is always just continuing to press forward.
Yeah.
And believing that he's there, that he is present. Because I think that he is.
Yeah. And that truly all things do work together for your good. And
yeah.
But you play a big role in that. Like, it's not just that things are going to happen to you and it's all going to be for your good. I really believe, like, as people, we play a big role in how things impact your heart and your soul and your outlook. So, I don't know. I feel really strongly about this stuff, and it's, like I said, it's easy to say when not in an intense season of waiting. You and I both been through those kinds of seasons, but I also think that coming out on the other side has given us a lot of hope and energy around ways to go through those seasons. For
sure. Yeah. And that, again, I feel like right now I'm surrounded by people who are in a season of waiting, and they're waiting for, you know, what's next, what's happening. And it's exciting, but it's also like exhausting.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not exciting, you know, sometimes it's just straight discouraging. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have so much love and compassion for people who are in those seasons. And I hope this has been helpful.
Yeah, me too. For sure.
And meanwhile, we wait like a ticking time bomb here. with great expectancy and anticipation for our little bundle, right?
What do they call it? A bundle?
A bundle of joy, because they like come out and they bundle them up, I guess. I don't know.
I think it's going to be a bundle of joy.
I think it's going to be a bundle of joy. No, this is good. Thank you. It's helpful. And, I don't know. Hey, and we're going to be waiting for season 2, all kinds of waiting. So
There's lots of waiting going on these days.
much less serious waiting, but yes, lots of waiting. Good stuff. Well, that was season 1.
I know. I can't believe it's over.
Season 1. Now we're going into season 2. So guys, subscribe. Make sure you do all those things. Share with your friends. We had a few people reach out and be like, we're going to re-listen to season 1 while you guys are on break, which that would be a lot of listening. So no need to do that. But yeah, we hope that this has been a really helpful, lots of good talks. I don't even know how to say that plural. Good talking. Lots of good talking. Yeah.
Talks.
Good talks. Hope that you guys have really enjoyed it. We love getting your feedback. So please do share that with us. And we just want to work hard.
They can still leave a review, right? And get the what is it? 30 days.
Our 30 days are good. Yep. So if you do leave that review on iTunes, take a picture, shoot it to us at info@theplaceforgood.com. If you send us the picture of your iTunes review, we'll give you that free 30-day journal, which just kind of walks you through some inspiration for 30 days and also helps you kind of start your journey of gratitude that we've talked about so much. So yeah, if you want to do that, do it.
It's awesome.
Good
All right.
stuff.
So until season 2, may the Lord bless you and protect you. May he smile on you and be gracious to you. May he show you his favor and give you his peace.